Hi everyone, it's time for the new season of BookMark Presents. It might come as a surprise for you, but from now on, all these episodes uh, of the podcast and these special episodes every first Friday of the month that you already know as Ask Us Anything About LinkedIn will be held in English. I'm Alex Kristev, founder of BookMark, uh, and my pleasure today is that I will share this broadcast together with my partner Didi, Delana, and Yana. Hey girls, how are you?
Alex, thank you very much for introducing us and our new season, season three. It's great to see faces. It was lovely to have the audio edition of the series. We tried having it only with audio, wearing pajamas sometimes. I'm joking, of course.
But not today,
Um,
just
but
shorts.
yeah, but it's good to have faces again. Yana, are you excited like me or not so much?
Yes, of course, every single time. I'm very happy to see you, although I see you every day. This is just very nice, and I want to thank everybody for joining us today.
So, Didi, before we start, it's usually your pleasure to present the so-called rules of our um, Ask Us Anything About LinkedIn Live. So it's your turn again, fortunately.
Okay, so the idea of these events are you to be on the focus. By you, I mean not Alex and Yana, who I see, but our audience, who I don't see. But hopefully, you are gathering now on LinkedIn and on Facebook if you prefer. So the idea is for us to answer your questions about LinkedIn. So take the name and the title of this series by heart. So ask us absolutely everything, anything you want to know about LinkedIn, whether it's about your profile, the page you manage, or probably the LinkedIn ads you manage. It doesn't matter. It's now your time to ask your questions. Do it with a comment below this live. As I said, either on Facebook or on LinkedIn. And we're going to check your comments and we'll answer your questions. You can also listen the recording of this LinkedIn Live in our podcast, which you can hear on all um, audio platforms you prefer.
Great to be back, definitely. Mm, Maybe a few words about, in fact, the reasons we decided to switch to this, let's say, new format, even though the whole Bookmark Presents series are mostly video lives. And probably part of you know that except for this Ask Us Anything About LinkedIn format, we usually invite amazing people to talk about different things, not only digital marketing, not only LinkedIn marketing, but different topics involving business, management, leadership, mentorship, if I can mention some of the topics we discussed last during the last 12 months. In fact, this morning we kind of remembered that this is the third season of the podcast. It's not the second as we somehow thought. So, welcome to the third season of Bookmark Presents, and yes, the second season of the Ask Us Anything About LinkedIn format. Once again, it is your turn to ask the questions. Don't hesitate, be brave. And we already have our first question.
Super.
Shall we? Okay, maybe I will read it and I
Yes,
don't know,
please.
Didi. Good answer. First question is from Emo Tonev. Hi, Emo. Glad to
Hi,
see you
Mo.
here. Experts recently announced that hashtags will no longer play any role for the organic reach. This was also supported by LinkedIn through an email correspondence. Do you find this a challenge for creators or brands? And what outcome do you think this would bring to the platform?
Mhm.
Nice one. Thanks again, Emo.
Thank you very
Let me
much.
give you a like, maybe a heart.
Mhm. Give him a heart.
Yeah.
Um, well, that's a good question. We're looking forward to see what the outcome of this would be and whether it would actually have the impact that some people say it will. What we always say is that the most important thing about creating content on LinkedIn is the quality you provide. So no matter how many hacks you have and you apply as tips and tricks, the first and foremost thing is concentrate on the quality of the content you provide. Use keywords, use the topics you are an expert at, use the right formats. The best thing is to use a mix of formats in creating content. So the best way to do this is to have a strategy for your presence on LinkedIn. So I think that removing the strength of hashtags will not impact very much the presence, the impact you have in your presence on LinkedIn actually. And we'll see. What do you think?
Well, Didi, if I can say, I disagree with you on some part of what you have said, because actually hashtags and the opportunity to follow a hashtag improves your visibility not only as a creator but as a company page as well. So I think this will lead to some limitations, and actually I don't find it very. I don't look it as a step further, more like a step back. And if it was up to me, I want. I wouldn't go in this direction. I actually, not only because I create a lot of posts, but I actually have my attention on the hashtags, and I actually have an eye on how people use them. And maybe one of the reasons that LinkedIn thought about removing them or somehow change them is because not many people actually use them right or use them in the most efficient way. Of course, if you're a creator, maybe you'll do it like better, but for the people who are not so active on the network, or pages who again don't publish much content, it is not effective. And maybe this is the reason why there is such a choice made, which I have to say that until something is like really official and I see posts without the opportunity to add a hashtag, I don't jump up to conclusions, and I don't hurry to actually believe everything that is written until I have already see it removed or added.
Okay, Yana, harsh as ever.
Yeah, and the mouth one. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
okay, that was a great start, and I think this will be the direction that we will keep. So, while we're waiting for your other questions, we have, of course, already gathered some. So maybe let's
yeah.
start with what we've already prepared. as topic since, yeah, we've made a pause about a couple of months. So a lot of stuff happened on LinkedIn while we were, well, not gone, not on vacation. We were working hard, fortunately. So most of the things that we will be talking about today, we will have even examples to show you. What's first, Didi?
I think it's best to start with the AI topic. It's a hot topic, still hot, I'd say, not warm but hot. Um, you're not pretty sure about that, but it's something that is of interest to a lot of people, if not everybody, and that's normal. Some people say that it's just a trend. Others think that it's the new life we live in, and we need to adapt and adjust to it. And if you haven't, I mean, our audience haven't already read your article on Forbes Bulgaria, last edition, I think they should do that, because there you speak about the impact of the AI tools on LinkedIn. Recently, well, not very recently, but in June, I think, LinkedIn introduced AI tools for creating content on LinkedIn, and that was something that brought some very uh, hot discussions here. And the truth is that we cannot escape that topic. So let us know what that article was about, and do you think that's something that threatens creators, or it's for better?
Well, we don't know yet, but yeah, what are the facts? Facts are that during the last few months, LinkedIn, which are, as you probably know, part of the Microsoft family, where we also have OpenAI, the developers, the creators of ChatGPT, and of course Microsoft, and the whole ecosystem is doubling down on the generative AI. So what LinkedIn have already introduced are AI generated job offer descriptions, AI and AI generated LinkedIn posts, AI generated about sections of personal profiles, which means that you might have an idea, some sort of direction, initial skills in prompt writing, just to give the AI machine some initial direction, and you might have a generated uh, texts for your about section, for your daily updates, even for your job offers, to, of course, find the best possible candidates for the available positions you already have for your company. Which means that it becomes easier right now. We won't go anywhere around what jobs could disappear, whether we, and I mean us, as LinkedIn marketers, digital marketers, some of us are copywriters as well, whether we will lose our jobs. I believe we won't. Uh, the point here is that it will become much, much, much harder for all the users on LinkedIn and on every other platform to differentiate originally created content by a person, by a human, with their experience, with their own stories, uh, to differentiate this content, this kind of content, from the AI generated content. Uh, and in fact, many people are scared of this, uh, but I'm somehow inspired. And I think this is the opportunity, and this is uh, what I thought and expressed on my Forbes article, that this is the best um, opportunity for every thought leader, for every business leader, for every good professional on their way to become a great professional, uh, to be really different, to post things that they already know, to post about the future of their own industries, let's say, uh, to post about stories of their own experiences, meetings with other people, uh, some other developments that not too many people know. In fact, too many stuff that AI cannot generate, because the AI will probably won't be able to source and train itself. So now we're on a crossroad, and we have to decide whether we can be part of the flock where everybody uses generative AI, gives their prompts, and say, okay, today I want to post about the perfect format, the best format to publish on LinkedIn. Please, whether it's ChatGPT or BART, please generate 5 LinkedIn updates, plus ideas for images, or create a video script. Uh, this is one thing we can do. Okay, but we have to be aware that there are already too many people doing this. Or we can keep experimenting, we can keep uh, thinking about the things that nobody else can talk about. And we're now back on our path to thought leadership. We are on our path to differentiating from all others, and once again becoming leaders in our field. So this is a direction that everybody's going, but we should definitely decide where do we want to go.
So it's not a devil in your opinion. AI is not a devil. We can use it.
Well, I don't know. I think AI is just a tool. Of course, I have my own thoughts about it. It would definitely lead to changes in probably almost all industries. But yeah, if you, I think there's already a cliche in this matter, that people should decide whether they should be the people reflected, that AI reflects on their jobs, or they should be the people who use AI um, to influence their own jobs and industries. So yeah, this is it.
Yeah, if I may share my humble opinion, I also think that um, it's made to it's created to make our lives easier, but in fact it will become harder to stand out. But that's good, because now thinking and use your creativity is more important than ever. So actually, I think that professionals like us would be needed. So yeah, I'm positive as well on that matter.
Yeah, and I can make a promise now that this article that you already mentioned in the beginning will soon be available as part of my the linked professional newsletter on my personal profile. So you can go and subscribe now. Well, LinkedIn newsletters, another topic that we will cover today, but maybe a bit later.
Yep.
Where are we heading to now?
I think it would be, if we don't have any questions, I suggest changing the topic with some advertisements news. During the summer, when we didn't have BookMark Presents format, we saw some updates. One of it was the introducing of the thought leaders ads, which is something which we already experimented with. So, Jana, maybe you can tell us a bit more about thought leader ads format.
Yeah, of course, one of like many of my favorite topics. Actually, Didi, you have mentioned this new type of LinkedIn ads when you had your presentation on Digital for Varna event, and now we have already see them in action. I see them on my feed. Maybe you can share if you also know how they look like. I mean, our audience here today. You can share in the comments. So actually, these ads are similar, but not so much to the standard ads, so to say. The difference is that you don't promote a post from your company page, you promote a post from an individual one, an employee from your company who is actually meant to be, or it is considered to be, a thought leader. That's why this is the name of that. So this should be a person who is an executive or just very popular and highly experienced professional from your company. So to create this type of campaign, you should use you maybe know the primary LinkedIn advertising tool, Campaign Manager, and you should choose the post from the employee you want to promote. And you have a limit of five of these posts. But first, the employee, this person should accept the request that he will receive, and then you can move on to actually create and add the specifics of your campaign. Of course, there are limits, but we'll see if they will be removed in the future. So the objective of your ad should be awareness or engagement. These are actually the two options that you can choose from. And when it comes to the content that can be promoted, again, we only have two options. This is a single image ad or a video ad. So you should stick to them. You can't actually make an ad promoting a newsletter edition, an article, a poll, or a post that contain multiple images. And unfortunately, really unfortunately, you can't promote a document. We know how powerful they can be when they're actually created and implemented in the right way, and maybe they are like the superpower when it comes to the creators and the individual ones on the platform, but that's the case. So these are the two things that you should know when it comes to the requirements and the specifics. And maybe you should, if you represent a company, maybe you should think in this direction and think about investing in this type of ad, because I can think that it can really improve your brand visibility. You can engage your audience more and reach to new people on the network, and actually using a person who has already established or is really working on developing his brand on the platform really can help your company stand from the competitors. And actually, as Alex have mentioned a few times, the B2B communications are already oriented towards age to age or human to human communication. So using a person can really engage your audience more. But you should be really careful when you consider who to choose and what post to promote. So this is like my advice. And if you want to know something else or more on the topic, please don't hesitate to leave a comment now or just ask us later if you have a question.
Thanks, Yanni. While you were speaking, I tried to show a little bit about how we create, in fact, the thought leader ads and an example of an ad with my participation that we launched earlier this summer. And yeah, this is a brand format. This is an ad format that works for your personal branding and, of course, while being in a thought leadership format, it definitely adds value to the corporate brand as well. Uh, yeah, we still haven't used it that much, so unfortunately, we don't have that many insights to share. But yet, we still know that on LinkedIn, people like other people, and they engage on much higher levels with personalized updates uh, and human updates, as Yanni already mentioned. So, Didi, back to you as our host today.
Thank you. Well, I remember when I was a speaker at Digital for Varna, this new format has just arrived, and I was quick enough to change my presentation and mentioning it. And according to the reactions of the audience there, I think it's yeah, it will be quite popular in a while. And probably, as Jana said, we'll see that some limitations of the formats probably will be soon removed. So looking forward to that change, actually. And if we don't have another question, I have a question, or better said, I'd like to answer a question I've had um, in the past few days. Somebody asked me whether she can post a second newsletter on their page, because that woman, a friend of mine, has a company that has multiple topics in her company that she wants to tackle and show expertise. And until recently, the answer was no. You have one newsletter, use it in the best way you can, and yeah, try to be precise and concise, as they say, and use it in the best way. Choose the right duration of the format. It can be monthly newsletter, it can be weekly. So that was the possibility. But now we have some updates in the LinkedIn newsletter format, a format which we like very much, because it gives creators the chance to show their expertise in a longer format, and LinkedIn newsletters give you also the chance to send a notification or even an email to the subscribers, so they can know and expect the next newsletter you as a creator or as a page provide. And one of the new things, as I already mentioned, or gave you a hint is that now you can have more than one newsletter, either on your profile or on your page. And to be more precise, you can have up to 5 newsletters. So my friend now can be happy enough, I hope, because she can have the 2 newsletters she wanted to create on her page. Of course, that um, shouldn't be a prompt to create too many newsletters without a strategy. Think very carefully before creating a new one. But for sure, it's a good opportunity to enhance and segment your audience. Because now, if your, for example, company or you as a professional have different topics to speak about, probably you spam your readers, some of them, because they're interested in one topic that you're an expert at, but they really don't care about the other one. So I really like that change. Um, this is just one of them, and the next one is quite interesting actually. When you create a newsletter and a person subscribes to it, they become automatically your follower. So this is probably made so that a creator can gain more followers easily. And the third change announced was here I'm smiling because Jan has some special mm, mm, opinion about that. That's the new layout and the new design of the newsletters. Uh, According to LinkedIn, now it's much easier, much more smooth and rich in terms of the opportunities you have in formatting the newsletters. But in our experience so far, that's not really the case, or at least not for all of us. For example, yesterday we created, I think, 4 or 5 newsletters, both for BookMark, check it if you haven't yet, and for some of our partners. And we had some harsh time. Jana, what do you like and dislike in this new feature?
Um, well, first of all, I like that actually it has an improved visibility. But when it comes to the layout, actually, I hope that this is just not fully optimized yet, because there are some troubles with. Like resizing your images and just put them on the place where they should stick to, which really is irritating to the reader's eye, because people like to have some structure, and actually there's some thought behind how you actually place your visual images and well as your texts, links, and everything should be smooth when it comes to reading and actually accepting the information. But I really hope this is just a bug, just something little that should be optimized. We have seen it that many times when a new feature or an update comes, it takes just a little bit time until everybody sees in the right way or just appear as the way it was mentioned to be. And I can also, if you want, I can actually have some comments on the other things that you mentioned as an
Mhm.
updates in newsletters. Yeah, as you have said, don't rush with creating just 4 or 5 newsletters at a time just because you can. It's important to have a look at your strategy, but maybe if really you have to almost completely directions that you're going into as a professional, uh, you should try it. For example, Didi, we know that besides your LinkedIn expertise, you also have your personal goal, which is the improved accessibility. So I think that, for example, if you have two newsletters, one for your expertise in the digital market and marketing, and one for your personal goal and actually your cause, you can attract different audiences. And maybe if you become expert, you can bring your audience from one newsletter to the other. This will be the perfect case. So if you're able to achieve that, I highly encourage it. But actually, this is a type of content that it is really engaging, but it takes much time and much effort to do it in the most effective way. So it's not like uh, create a newsletter with AI for 10 minutes and just make me 7 editions for an hour. I don't actually hate AI or nothing of the sort. I just say that it takes more efforts, and not everybody is likely to do that. And I understand that. But LinkedIn is really encouraging this content, so maybe we should think why this is.
Um, hmm. Well, I take what you said as a challenge in creating more than one newsletter. I think that you want me to work until midnight. Uh, Joking, of course. Thank you very much. That was insightful. Mm, if there aren't currently other questions, I would move to the topic of pages, LinkedIn pages. That's something we have. We work a lot with a lot of pages. We make a lot of audits. We optimize a lot of pages, and we have some pretty big scale mm, experience with that. So I'm curious to know what you would say, for example, about the work module tab, Alex.
Yes, as part of the many feature updates on LinkedIn this summer, um, and of course, a couple of months before summer, uh, most pages, probably all pages by now, have received the updated workplace module, uh, and which means that except for the overview text that all admins initially can add. Of course, this is something we have since probably the beginning of LinkedIn pages. What we have now is the ability to add a few modules, and if you allow me, I will share with you how do we do that. By, of course, showcasing our own page. Um, in fact, we made a lot of LinkedIn page audits this summer and created a special audit format. And what you see here, or probably are seeing now, is what LinkedIn About pages, the About tab, the About section of a LinkedIn page used to look like until we received the new modules like this one, the Workplace module, when every company can showcase as probably part of their own employer value proposition what kind of a workplace it is. Uh, like ours, it's a hybrid workplace. We are usually expected to be on site 3 days a week. You can include all the other benefits the company offers and any additional um, links or multimedia, then you can add. Uh, Companies are free to do it. What we have here is our permanent junior LinkedIn marketing specialist position on our website, and if someone clicks, they can go see it. Uh, so once again, companies were able to showcase this via their organic content, and for the uh, enterprise level companies that use company pages and use career pages format, which usually you can identify with the live tab. As you can see, we don't have such. So they had similar options on the live tab, but now everybody has it. And how do we create it? Of course, we promised new things in this format, so now we can do it. You can go to edit page if you're a page admin, of course. Here you have the workplace module. Of course, you can switch it on and off. It's off by default. You can choose an option for the primary workplace policy. You have 300 characters to describe your company's workplace policy, a link, typical time on site, flexible, days per week, percentage of times. Um, in fact, after the pandemic, companies have different policies about where their employees should be. Some of the managers want to see their employees, their team members every day. I don't know whether it's related to being, I don't know, maybe micromanagers or even control freaks, but yeah. Uh, and we have other options that you can showcase, whether the company offers location-based pay adjustment, based on different things, whether you have a vaccine policy, etc., etc. And the next new module that we still don't see on many pages is the commitments module, where any company can add up to 5 commitments regarding career growth and learning opportunities, diversity, equity, and inclusion, environmental sustainability, social impact, work-life balance, etc. It's almost the same format where you can showcase it by adding some written text, adding some links to different documents or pages that you've already created on your own company website. So the main thing here is that maybe let's get back to the member view. The main thing here is that your company page should be kind of a one-stop shop for not only for your prospects, not only for your potential clients. It should be, and in fact it is, if not the first, then the second place that uh, every possible employee, potential employee, visits in order to validate whether this company is suitable for them. So it's part of the ongoing employer branding activities, although it's kind of a more static one. But if you don't have such modules on your LinkedIn page, then go ahead and create one, activate them. You saw the switch button. So there's nothing to wait for.
Thank
So,
you very much, Alex, for presenting this useful information and how people actually can do it, because I understand that sometimes it's difficult to find different tabs, especially if you're kind of new to the page admin um, section. Well, as a young professional, I can say, I mean, the youngest from us here, if I was looking for a job, for example, I mean, like after 15 years, just from now on, I would be to know more about the company that I'm interested into, like their workplace policy, because this actually maybe began from the pandemic times when people actually were looking for working remotely, or there were times when this was mandatory. But actually now we know that especially the so-called Gen Z professionals are really looking for flexibility. They're looking for some kind of remote work or just different places where they can work and actually don't be so to say stuck in the office 5 days a week. And I really think that we've created a suitable atmosphere because we have bonded together during our times at the office, but we also have different activities. Maybe if you have already seen, yesterday we posted about our team building, which I organized. And actually, these are like small things, and maybe not. Maybe some companies do it because they have to, but it actually has an effect on the current employees and the potential ones. Maybe the only disadvantage that I mean in the workplace model is that there is a limit of only 3 benefits, and we can include at least 10. But this is uh, one more reason to just identify the 3 biggest ones. So yeah, I really like this new update, and I can say the same thing about the commitments. We know that, Juliana, why are you looking so in love with me?
first of
I
all,
mean,
because
you're
you
enjoying,
know, a
you're
flow,
agreeing with me. I know.
have
I know
such
that
a
we have
flow of
actually.
applications now after your ads to book.
Yes, I hope so. We have, as you have seen, we have included our position for junior marketing specialist, and I can wait to actually meet more young and ambitious people like me. So back on the topic, I think my thoughts are similar on the commitments, because people, and I mean not only the young people, are continuing to look more into the values of a company and how the company actually engages with these values, how they encourage them and support them through different initiatives, charity events, or just promote these values and commitments at the workplace every day. And I'm actually proud that we actually do this, and I'm happy to be part of this workplace environment.
Yeah, as a moderator, to recap what you said, spend 10, 15 minutes to think about the causes of your company, what you believe in, and just show it to your audience because it really matters. I'd like to invite our audience to ask a question now. Otherwise, we're going to say bye bye for now and meet you next time, which is the first Friday of October. We are still going to have LinkedIn Live. We're going to speak in English, but probably you will see more of us. We'll see. Thanks very much for joining us. Subscribe to BookMark's newsletter and for the link letter of the link book. We will leave some comments below. And have a great day. Thank you very much, Alex and Tiana, as well, for having this conversation with you.
Thanks a lot,
Thank you,
everyone,
Jane.
for being with us. And yes, get used to this new format. If you already miss raising your hands, you can see mine here. Here it is, which was definitely the greatest part of the old audio format. Uh, you can just I don't know, maybe ask us politely whether you can jump into these live sessions, and yeah, we can make it happen. So just be active. You know, we love answering all your questions. So bye from us now.
Have a
Bye bye.
nice day.